Hi, I'm Chappy with Forge Tactical, here for the Beretta training series. We're going to talk today about drawing from concealment, how to get the gun out, engage a target, and safely get it back in the holster whenever it's necessary. Our goal when we're developing our draw and practicing it is to develop and practice a draw that can work for almost any situation. You can always come up with a scenario that your particular draw won't work for, and that's fine. In those situations, you just practice getting the gun out. For a standard baseline to develop your concealed carry draw, we're going to do this based on a set of principles. The first principle is to clear the cover garment. Whether you carry appendix like I do or strong side, you still have to clear the cover garment. How you do that could be different. It depends on your clothing. If you're wearing a sport coat, you have to practice running your pinky against your body and then getting a shooting grip. If you wear, like I usually do, with just a shirt over your gun, you have to practice getting the cover garment off the gun. So it's called clearing the cover garment. So we grab it and pull it up. If you're drawing on your side, you do the same thing this way. So our first step is to clear the cover garment. While we're doing that, we need to get into a good shooting stance. We won't always be on our feet, but if we are, we need to be in a good, stable fighting stance. So I'm going to do those two things at the same time. I'm going to find the gun with the tip of my finger so I can relate my hand to it. Then I'm going to get a good solid shooting grip. Once I get a shooting grip in the holster, I'm going to draw the pistol out. Whether it's strong side or appendix, you're still bringing it to a high compressed ready from the holster. Once I get that, I'll get up on target, engage the target with whatever I need to, come back to the high compressed ready, make sure my environment is good, move to cover, execute a reload, whatever I need to do to get the gun ready to fight again, and get into whatever position of advantage I think I need to get into. Once I've done that and I'm ready to put my gun away, we reholster. Practicing reholstering the pistol with concealed carry is just as important as practicing the draw. The reason for this is if you shoot yourself, you're still shot. If you burn somebody down and you're feeling good about yourself and you're ready to go get your medal from the governor, and then you shoot yourself while you're reholstering, you're still shot. It's important to practice this dry first and make sure you have this built into your central nervous system pathways. So the first step to holstering is the same as it is for the draw. It's clearing the cover garment. Now, I'm going to look at my holster. Now, some of you have probably been taught, never look at your holster. It's a sign of weakness or tactical improficiency. That's simply not the case. If the situation isn't stable enough for you to look at your holster to put it away, you shouldn't be putting your gun away in the first place. You should still have your gun out. So I'm going to clear my cover garment and I'm going to look where I want the gun to go. Just like shooting multiple targets, I want to look where I want the gun to go before I move the gun there. So I'm going to clear my cover garment, look where I want the gun to go. For appendix, I'm going to bring the gun down and then push the thumb of my hand into my body. This rotates the muzzle of the gun away from my body slightly, reducing the chances of an injury should the gun spontaneously go off, which we all know they don't. It's from you pulling the trigger. When I'm doing that, I'm double checking myself visually to make sure my finger is straight and out of the trigger guard. Then I'm going to find the opening of the holster with the tip of the gun, and I'm going to smoothly and slowly reholster. If I encounter any resistance, I'm going to stop and pull the gun back out. I'm not going to push through it. So the complete cycle of this drill is I'm going to clear my cover garment and get a shooting stance. Find the pistol, get a shooting grip, draw to the high compressed ready, bring the sights up in front of my eye, come out on target, engage as I need to. When I'm done engaging, finger outside the trigger, evaluate the situation. Is it safe to put my gun away? If it is, I'm going to look down, clear my cover garment, find the holster with my eyes, move the gun to it. So I'm going to angle the muzzle of the gun away from my body, find the opening of the holster, and safely reholster. That is a complete drill. Again, I can't emphasize enough, especially if you carry appendix, which is a very viable, concealable way to carry a full-size gun, and it's what I prefer. You have to practice the reholster dry a bunch before you take it out on the range. Now that we've practiced this dry, let's work on getting it set up and practicing it live fire. The first step is loading the gun. Let's use this opportunity to get a good draw stroke and a good reholster in without having to shoot and practicing our make ready procedure with the pistol. So my first step when I'm making ready is I find a safe area to point my gun. I'm going to put the gun on my body unloaded first. Then I'll execute my draw stroke. That just got me one practice with a good solid smooth draw, not rushing, just doing it perfectly. I'm in my good stance. I'm going to bring the gun back into my workspace. I'm going to attempt to release a magazine. Even though the gun is unloaded, I'm still going to take that time that if I want to load my gun, I first have to release a magazine. That's helping me practice for an emergency reload. I'm going to lock the slide to the rear and visually and manually inspect the pistol and make sure there's nothing obviously wrong with it. I'm going to get a magazine out of my emergency reload pouch, bring it straight from my pouch to the gun, drop the slide, back out on target. Now I know the gun is loaded. I am going to check and make sure that there's a round in my chamber, and the way I do that is with a press check. I'm going to bring it back to the high compressed ready, and I'm going to feel that round in the chamber. I'm not just going to look at it. All of our manipulations need to work in the dark. Everything needs to be done by feel. So I've press checked it. I'm confident the gun's in battery and it's fully loaded. Now I'm going to execute my reholster. I'm going to look down, clear my cover garment, look where I want the gun to go, find it, angle the gun away from my body, and safely reholster. Now I'm ready to practice this drill live. I'm going to start in a neutral position. I'm going to practice clearing my cover garment and getting in a shooting stance at the same time. Getting a shooting grip on the gun, coming up to the high compressed ready, finding the sights. Good, I'm going to evaluate my situation. I don't need to move because I'm on the square range. I'm practicing the skills involved. Make sure my finger's outside the trigger guard. I'm going to look for my holster, clear my cover garment, look where I want the gun to go, bring the gun there, keeping the muzzle away from my body for appendix. It's not as important for strong side, but that's still important for strong side. Find the opening of the holster with the muzzle of the gun and smoothly reholster. Now I've completed a complete cycle live fire. I can do that slowly and smoothly until I have it down perfectly. Remember, speed is a result of smoothness. It is not a goal in and of itself. If you're pushing yourself and making mistakes, you're going too fast. If you execute all of these things, you can get really good at drawing quickly enough from concealment. For the Beretta Training Series, I'm Chappy. Thank you for watching.